Welcome back everyone, thank you for tuning in again, and today I have the Star Wars The Black Series number 6 Yoda 6-inch figure. Now, I know it isn't the 6-inch line, but of course Yoda isn't going to be 6 inches or higher or slightly shorter than the rest of the figures, but being the 6-inch scale, they have made Yoda into the proper scale as the rest of the line. As you can see, he is significantly smaller in the packaging than others, especially Chewbacca, but he is Yoda, he is naturally shorter, so this figure will be about 3-4 inches, I'll say. I have measuring tape, so once we open him up, we'll get a closer look at the size as well. But first, let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, it is the new blue striped window box display. The simple blue stripe with Yoda in the middle, his lightsaber and a cane, as well as the snake around his neck. Now, really quick, I'll just touch on this since it is the first thing you notice. I'm not a huge fan of the items they put in this package as accessories, because you have his lightsaber, but then you have his cane and the snake, and the snake wasn't seen until, really thought of until episode 5 in The Empire Strikes Back, when he doesn't have his lightsaber. So I was kind of hoping with these set of accessories they either add more or kind of focus on one thing or another. I personally would have liked to see a Yoda from Empire Strikes Back as well as the prequel trilogy. I think, it's nothing bad or nothing I'm disappointed at. I think it's just a little bit awkward the way they gave the accessories, because you don't see a clone trooper with a changeable stormtrooper helmet and stormtrooper blasters from episode 4, and then you don't see Obi-Wan with I guess the head of him in episode 1 and whatnot. So it's a little awkward. It was just something I was thinking of, but nonetheless, it's Yoda. I finally found him after God knows how long hunting. So let's take a closer look at the packaging. Again, as I said, there's the window box display with Yoda at the top, Yoda and all the accessories, and the bottom we can see Star Wars The Black Series. He is number 6, and the choking hazard down there with the Hasbro logo. Turning to the back, we do see the Disney logo, which is now on the blue stripe packaging, and a shot of Yoda. And again, this is Yoda in episode 5 with Luke. So the lightsaber kind of throws it off, but no big deal. And then here we have a little description. On the remote swamp planet Dagobah, Jedi Master Yoda teaches young Luke Skywalker the ways of the Jedi and the power of the Force. And his quote is, "My ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is." I was kind of hoping for the do or do not, there's no try quote. Not quite sure what's on the 3-inch packaging quote, but these are just things that I kind of like to nitpick at, to be a pain in the ass, but of course, nothing is a big deal, and I'm happy to have them. So let's go ahead and take him out and take a closer look at Yoda. Here is Yoda open up out of his packaging, and as you can see, I have attached both accessories. The good thing is both his hands have the gripping form, I guess, as a lot of the Black Series do have. So you can put both his cane and lightsaber in the hands. But before we take a closer look at the figure, let's take a look at the accessories. So here is the lightsaber with the lime green blade. And the cool thing is too, they did make the blade removable, so if you wanted it, you can just have him holding the hilt. A simple peg in there. And if I can just get that back in there. So that's the cool thing, sometimes, it's not always a bad thing when they include 2 hilts, one with the blade, one without. But, it might make it difficult if you lose this blade. That might be the only pain. But again, no big deal. I personally like that design. And again, here's a look at the lightsaber hilt, if I can get that in focus more. So he has a very simple design, good size for him, and they did a good size with the scaling too. And then let me get a closer look at the cane as well. A little bit harder might be to see, but if I can get that in the light, you can see just a nice brown. Has a good texture to it, it really feels like just, wood he carved or, someone carved out for him. And it holds good in his hand, and when you pose it right, it sits well in the pose. And I can take off the snake as well. The snake is basically formed into this position, so you can just wrap it around pretty easily, and he sits well around Yoda. You can see the orange stripe, because I know with the figures they actually had the orange and brown stripe variants. So who knows, maybe we will see a brown stripe variant, but I don't see it likely that happening. You know, nothing too crazy in here. And then let's get a closer look at Yoda. So I know a lot of people have been having complaints with his face and the eyes being a little bit awkward or, you know, mispainted. Luckily, mine don't look that bad. You know, if I'm, you know, maybe my eyes are bad, but I don't really see anything wrong with it. As far as, you know, one eye being a little bit off or one eye looking in the other direction. Of course, the overall face could, you know, use improvement. But overall, you know, it's not too bad. Of course, the sideburns might be a little bit much, but you can see the wrinkles and everything. The ears are a good size. And overall, you know, I'm happy with the face. You know, it is better than some of the other face sculpts we've been getting. So, you know, nothing to complain about for me there. And then you do have his flute necklace, which a lot of the figures and mini busts from, let's say, Gentle Giant have been coming with. So that was a nice addition and nice attention to detail that Hasbro did come up with. And then he is wearing his cloth robe, which it's not really removable. You can take it off. It's not, you know, attached to him or glued to him, but they have it so it's tucked underneath his belt. And then you can see his regular clothes underneath, as he was in episode 3 when, you know, he did lose his robe. Taking a look at the back with the belt again and a little pouch right there. And his feet, you know, good, everything. The fingers aren't, there's no articulation in the fingers, but, you know, you can still grip everything well. So, you know, overall, I'm happy with it. You know, it might be a little expensive given the size of it, which a lot of people have been complaining about. Some people justify Chewbacca being oversized and, you know, you're basically making up the price in there and whatnot. But, you know, what are you going to do? If you're a fan and collector, it shouldn't be too much of a worry. You know, it's not like we're worrying about the Hot Toys or Sideshow pieces, which are a couple $100s, and worrying about the size difference in price there. But for these, you know, I'm happy to collect them. I'm happy to have Yoda in my collection finally. So let's take a look at the articulation. There's a slight head jolt or tilt up and down, not too much. Nice tilt. It's actually interesting. It seems like it's all connected. I haven't really noticed that in other pieces, but if you kind of move sometimes, some of the arms might move. It's a little bit awkward. And then the arms too at the shoulder. It is double jointed at the elbow. It might be hard to see, but, you know, if you just move it around a little bit, up and down too. The wrists do twist, kind of back and forth there. Slight ab crunch. Let me get that a little bit panned out so you see better. There's nice twist at the waist, the upper thighs. There is no knee articulation, which, you know, it's nothing too bad, but, you know, I guess depending how you pose it might become difficult if you like posing it a lot. But you can twist at the kind of lower thigh, and then the upper thigh goes in and out and up and down. And then at the ankle, twist and slight up and down, but nothing too crazy. So let's get a quick size of him. I have my handy dandy ruler, or tape measure I should say, right here. So as you can see, he stands just about 3 inches, just a little bit over 3 inches tall. And getting him next to Anakin. I haven't done a review of him yet, but, you know, I will with that. And as you can see, I have the custom cloak made of him and the clone sergeant as well. So just getting a quick size of these guys. As you can see, they are about 6 inches here, and Anakin as well, a little bit, almost 6.5 inches. So, you know, overall, it's a really good size. Nothing, you know, crazy that Hasbro messed up on in this part. Great job. I'm finally happy to have Yoda. You know, if you are still hunting for him, a lot of Walgreens are starting to get this wave in, which is where I actually found Yoda recently. So go out there, find him, add him to your collection. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and like my pages, and stay tuned for the next video review.